Today's ghost story is a different one because it's one which I have witnessed myself. And I've done a video about this before in the past, but I wanted to do an updated version with a little bit more information in it. And it concerns a church which, at this particular time, I won't mention which church it is, but some of you may already know, and it won't take a lot to deduct which church this was. And the ghost that we saw, we believe, is of the Witchfinder General. And he's a very well-known character here in East Anglia and England itself because of the witch trials back in the day. And at the time, we didn't know what it was we were witnessing or who it was, to be precise. Now, how it all came about was me and two of my friends, we used to frequent our local church and churchyard. Beautiful place, and it's got lovely scenery. It's away from the houses and it's got a wood behind it, and it's just a lovely place. And with a lot of old churches and old graveyards, they have a lovely atmosphere which is just nice to be in. And when you're kids, you like to go and spook yourself and frighten your friends, and it's just a rite of passage for some kids that's what you do. So me and these two friends, we used to go up there, and amongst some of the things that we used to find fun was to wait for when people used to come out of the church. And because of where these particular gravestones, and there was a tomb there at the time as well, we used to hide behind that. And because it was near the door, we used to jump out and go back. And yeah, it used to make the people jump, and we used to roll around laughing, and we used to think that was either a good afternoon or a good evening spent if you managed to make somebody jump. So we went up there this particular day, and you could walk all the way around the church, and out the back is the vestry. And how the vestry is situated, the windows of it are very large, and if you stand on one side of it, you can look all the way through to the window on the other side and see all the churchyard through it from there. So because these windows were so large, you look in one and you can see through the other. And if your mate is standing on the other side looking in that window, you can wave to them and you can see them clearly. So this particular day we went up there when we thought the cleaners were in there, and we thought, well, you know, good sport. They'll come out at their usual time and, you know, we'll make them jump. So we went there and we went round to the back, and there was somebody in the vestry. So we crept under the first window and we could see the outline of this person, and they got their back to us, and we could see the very large black hat, and it looked like a robe that they had on, and that was all black as well, and that seemed to almost go down to the floor. And this person in front of them on the table, which was underneath the other window, we could see that this person was turning pages in this really, really big old book. So we thought to ourselves, right, what we'll do is, because they're at that table under the other window, we will sneak round, crawl under the window, jump out and do our usual, but we'll do it all at once, and maybe we'll give them a really good scare. So we crawled under the first window so that we wouldn't be seen, just in case there was a reflection of us walking past. And then we went round under the other window, crawled underneath it, got in our places. 3, 2, 1. We jumped up and they weren't there. And we thought, well, that don't make sense, because they must have moved really quick. Because 1 minute we were there looking at them and they were looking through this big book, And then we quickly go round underneath the window, jump out. They're not even there. And the book has gone as well. So we thought to ourselves, right, they must be heading towards the main entrance. So we quickly ran round, because we knew we were pretty fast. You know, when you're young, you put your nimble in you. So we ran round and the door was closed. So we thought, right, we'll wait and we'll wait. And then when they come out, we'll do our number and we'll frighten them half to death. So we waited and we waited and we waited, and well, they didn't come out. So we was a bit sort of like, oh, well, that's the end of that then. So went home, had a tea, that sort of thing. But we decided we were going to go back the next day. So we went there and the door was open, the main entrance. So we thought, right, that's good then. We'll be able to frighten the cleaners, because that meant they were in there. And when the cleaners come out, we thought, actually, you know, that we keep frightening them, they're used to us by now. We're going to ask them why, you know, this person stayed in there so long, because we waited and waited for them to come out the day before. And we said, oh, that person that was in there yesterday, and the one in the vestry, they didn't seem to come out. Did somebody stay in here or something? And they're like, what do you mean? Somebody was in here yesterday? And we said, well, because the person that was in the vestry, looking through the big book, they didn't come out and we waited for them. And they said, well, nobody was in here yesterday. I said, well, they were, because we saw them. We literally went from one window round to the other, but they disappeared by that book. But we saw them looking through this big old book, and we described what this person was wearing. And they said, no, nobody's here in the vestry at the moment, because the only person who's got the key to it is the vicar, and he's on holiday this week. And we all sort of looked at each other, and they said, no, nobody could have got in. You couldn't have seen anybody in the vestry because the vicar's the only one with a key. And then I said, anyway, he'd never dressed like that. And we all sort of looked at each other. Well, we were taken aback, because we knew that all three of us had seen this person. And the cleaners, they didn't know what to make of it. And then over time, as we got older, we found out that one of the nearby areas is a place where the Witchfinder General, he used to duck the witches. And from the young age of when we first saw him to what we then learned when we were older of what he looked like and how he used to dress, it was that unnerving feeling that you think, yeah, I've seen somebody that looks like that. And he used to go to that church to go through the parish records. And because he used to frequent our area and he used to stay in the town where we lived, and he had so much to do with this area, and other people have seen the very same person with the same description roaming around on the piece of land where he used to duck the witches, we realised that we had most probably seen the ghost of Matthew Hopkins, the Witchfinder General. And at the point that it dawned on us what we had seen all those years later, it was quite unnerving. But it's one of those tales that I wanted to share with you, because it's something that I've personally witnessed, and something which was verified by other people in later years. And these old tales and happenings, they stay with you. There's a little part of you that it's always there and you'll never forget it. So who knows? Maybe you might be out and about one day and you see a man in a very large black hat and what seems like a cloak that goes all the way down to the floor, all in black. Maybe you'll see him from the front or the side, or just like us, you just see him from the back. But be careful, because it may well be the ghost of Matthew Hopkins, the Witchfinder General. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye for now.